a very warm welcome back to the Gimme Wrestling Podcast. My name is Dom.
And I'm Ant.
We are socially distancing, which makes me very sad because I miss Anthony's wall. We're just in my kitchen on my side.
You don't miss me, you miss my wall.
I miss the wall.
Great.
Yeah, hope you guys are looking after each other, staying safe, hydrating, eating well, going out for lots of walks, and generally just trying to keep motivated. Keep yourself busy by watching our videos. Why don't you?
Hydrating. Why hydrating?
Hydrating is important. Drinking water is really healthy.
I don't think any of the government advice has been about hydrating.
Well, it's eating well, drinking water, getting exercise, man.
No, it's not. No, the government's never said hydrating. I mean, yeah, carry on.
What do you guys think? How important is hydrating during this difficult time? So today on the Give Me All Your Wrestling podcast, we are getting together to talk to you about 2K21 and the WWE Games franchise. After Vince McMahon and an investor call last week, it's been announced that 2K21 will not be continuing on in its series, or 2K will not be continuing on its series with a 2K21 game. But there will be an announcement at 7 a.m. on Monday in the US, that's tomorrow in the US, about the future of the 2K franchise and an announcement. So we could be getting some dream scenarios. We could be getting a remastered Here Comes the Pain or something like that, which is something I want. But yeah, we want to talk about the 2K games. I've quite enjoyed the games because, you know, I get to play as my favorite characters. I still play 2K20, and I'm not afraid to admit it. I still play 2K20 because I can play as the Fiend, and that's why I would play 2K20 over 2K19. I enjoy the updates. I enjoy the new characters. I enjoy the fact that Tommaso Ciampa's in this game, stuff like that. I actually enjoy the aesthetics of the 2K franchise better than, say, Fire Pro Wrestling, which I know, Anthony, you play quite a lot. But I'm not a hardcore gamer. I'm quite happy to do that. You know what I mean? Because I only play passively. I go on to get a bit of escapism from work, and I'll play like an elimination chamber because it's the only mode you can play on the game with any element of surprise, because anybody can be eliminated at any time, whatever.
And any glitch can happen at any time.
There's a lot of glitches. But I don't play it enough for a long period of time to really feel the impact of the glitches. I'm not a pure gamer in that way. I do enjoy a good expansive, world in gaming, like in the God of War games and the franchises. But it doesn't really appeal, do you know what I mean? I'd like to see something like that in a WWE game, in the same way that, say, FIFA do it. But they have, like, you can play as your favorite football team, whatever. And I think that's possible in a WWE game. But, would WWE invest that money? Would they put that amount of money? Obviously, EA Games and the FIFA is a, much more global thing with more money to play with, arguably, probably. So that would be my kind of, I would like to see a FIFA kind of equivalent where you could take the role of Vince McMahon and you could have a manager mode, a general manager mode.
Mode, yeah.
Indeed, a manager mode where you could even be the chairman and manage everything, the funding of not only the shows but also the staff.
We're trying to make a successful show. I mean, Raw and SmackDown have been split up for ages now as a brand. It feels like, 3 years, is it?
Yeah.
Something like that. It feels like they've had the opportunity there to have a brand versus brand thing. That's what Vince come out and said at one point. This is what it's going to be. It's going to be a which show's better. And we haven't got that. And it seems like such a simple thing to implement in terms of the game that I'm shocked that it hasn't happened yet. And I think that it could happen.
I mean, we're not game developers. It's very important to specify that, I have great respect. We have great respect for 2K as, people, because obviously they do the Red Dead games.
Speak for yourself. No, I don't have any respect. So don't do the Red Dead games. Rockstar do them. I don't have any respect for 2K.
Okay, well, not
2K20.
So I have respect for, like, Rockstar and those types of game developers, and the people that do the FIFA engine, stuff like that. I really admire that. There's a lot of great game engines out there.
So do you play 2K20 or do you play 2K19?
I play 2K20, but purely for the updated characters.
Really? Wow. I mean, I can't put up with it. Like, would it? So it's playing with a creator wrestler isn't the same to you, basically.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I'll do it to maybe do the the sort of career mode or whatever you can do in there, and I'll I'll do that for what is it, 6 hours or whatever, 7 hours. And I will play through that. But then after that, very rarely, unless it's a showcase mode that appeals to me, will I go through that. I can't remember the last time I did a showcase mode. As soon as I've finished that career, create a wrestler career mode, it's basically a game where I'll just go on to get some escapism and maybe play Elimination Chambers with a bunch of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And I'll play like a survival thing. So it is a kind of a disposable game that I'll pick up and put down. But, really this debate, rages on around gaming purists and, people that maybe play, expansive real world games, or they'll play FIFA and various, and they want for this kind of, general manager mode. They want for this kind of beautiful, the EA 2K game, has a great manager mode. And the graphics are exceptional, etc., etc. And the EA NBA game, sorry, not the EA, the 2K NBA game is when they came out with WWE, they were like, why can't it be more like the NBA game? Why can't it be more like that? So they have the capabilities, but whether it's something to do with WWE not putting enough money forward, or they've lost interest, or lost belief in the franchise. Which may or may not have occurred. They see they can make more money from the mobile games, because I know that you play the Supercard games.
I play the Champions game. And they do make a lot of money. They made, in part of this financial call that Vince McMahon was in on that, said that the revenue on that's up 10% as well. And they make so much money off that.
It's those microtransactions, because obviously they're so small. You don't feel like you're spending, but then of course you are, and it adds up very quickly.
But FIFA do that as well. FIFA do a lot of microtransactions.
They do a lot of that, which is great. It's great business.
Well, it's not. It's awful for the gamers, and I hate it as a business.
Well, it is great. Yeah, it is awful for the gamers. I'm sorry, but it is good business. We can't deny that.
No, yeah, it makes money.
It makes money for them.
Because you want that shiny new toy. So let me go back on something that you talked about a little bit. Let's talk about the GM mode, because I'm a big fan of the promoter mode on Fire Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, just as a side point, in case anybody is interested, going back, you've actually done some videos on that.
Yeah.
The early part, I think it was the end of last year or the beginning of end of last year, you did some videos. So if you guys are interested in the game and you want to see how it works, then you can go back on the channel and have a look for those. And
I'd suggest that you do check it out. It's an interesting sort of GM mode, basically, because WWE 2K hasn't given us a GM mode for years.
I think it was the Pain that was the last one.
No, it was after that. It was about 2011. It wasn't in Here Comes the Pain. That
was
mainly
SmackDown versus Raw?
I think it was SmackDown versus Raw, I think, yeah. So it makes sense, because it's brand versus brand, and we've had that in the WWE for the last 3 years, and it's never sort of played out in the video game form, and I can't really understand why. In terms of coding for that, all it is an Excel spreadsheet. Like multiple Excel spreadsheets.
It's probably more complicated. I know game developers, and I know a couple of people that work for Rockstar in the UK, and again, incredible respect for those people and their profession. I think it's a lot more complicated than perhaps we give it credit for.
No, but you're talking about Rockstar. You're talking about a game that creates incredible games, as opposed to 2K, where all they need to do. So the type of game I'd compare it more to would be Championship Manager. Right, so that's a football game that you can. That is an Excel spreadsheet, right? And all that chooses to have it as an Excel spreadsheet, basically. With so let's say you have to put on a great show, and you get a 70% chance of getting a 1-star if you add Undertaker to the card. You get a slightly better chance if he's in a feud with Kane, right, or something like that. That's all it is. It's a percentage chance. It's all these numbers that you can manipulate, and then that tells you whether you've had a good show or a bad show, and then your aim is to try and change that. And so it is an Excel spreadsheet, but it's visually the UI has to be engaging to view. And WWE could do that. If they were to take the 2K19 engine, which is a much more robust engine, I don't think anyone could argue, than the 2K20 engine, update the characters, add the Fiend in and what have you, and Tommaso Ciampa or whoever they've got. I don't even know if you'd want to update the characters, though. You're gonna tech out so many this year. And then they could do something like that, where they've got a sort of a GM mode that plays out, and you don't even necessarily have to play the matches. I don't think that that's important to a management game. or a tycoon type of game, which WWE could do. The other way that they could go on Monday would be the announcement of some sort of more arcadey game. So if you look back at WWE, they had All Stars a couple of years ago, which was more about legends of the past fighting the modern day marvels of the future, and it was all very sort of Mortal Kombat-y. It was more Mortal Kombat-y. It was more arcadey. You know, if you did a finisher, it was a big thing, and you throw them out the ring or what have you. So that could be a way that they're going. But I don't know. I don't understand why they'd shift in that direction if 2K21 was going ahead, because that's a lot of work to get right as well.
Yeah, you know, like I said, it's a shame that there won't be a game this year for like casual, I guess, and pure wrestling fans. Because, but then there's talk. Obviously, we can't really ignore the fact that AEW was supposed to be releasing a game the end of this year, obviously, which probably is going to be pushed back now, almost definitely because of the Steve Corino virus.
It depends what the game is, man. It depends. No one knows what is it going to. I don't think it'll try and imitate 2K, because I don't think 2K is a great representation of what we want in a wrestling game.
No, but there's an argument then before we finish up. You know, what do we want in a wrestling game, in your opinion?
So I'd like to see, for this year, if I was to have anything, I'd want some sort of definitive edition, which brings me on to...
Of what?
Of Here Comes the Pain, or something like
Here
that.
Comes the Pain. So that's what you want out of this, is you want a remastered, definitive Here Comes the Pain.
Yeah, if you was to charge me £15...
With new characters, it would be way more than that as well. They know that they could make more money from that. It'd be 25, 30 quid.
Whatever. I mean, but I don't necessarily think it would be a full-price game. I don't think it would be a AAA game, because most remakes are. But yeah, so you remaster that. There's a YouTuber called Scott J1. He's on Patreon. I'm going to put his link in the description below. And he's got a great series. And it's all about rebuilding SmackDown. He's working on SmackDown 2, Here Comes the Pain, Shut Your Mouth, Know Your Role, and SmackDown versus Raw. And he's building the definitive edition of these games. So what he's doing is he's taking information from like the press releases, right? And saying, this was a model of The Rock that wasn't included in the final game. I'm going to manipulate the game code to get that model of The Rock in the final game, because it looked a lot better, in my opinion, than what we ended up getting. Taking characters like Billy Gunn, I think, who was cut more or less last minute, and re-putting him back into the game. Now, there'd be licensing issues there, because let's say, I can't remember, I don't think Scott Steiner was in it, but let's say Scott Steiner was in it. They ain't getting the rights to Scott Steiner being in a game that they'll release now. He will not let them make money off his property right now. So instead, you could change it and have you could have wrestlers that you do have rights for, like Al Snow might agree to do it, or someone like that wasn't in the original game, or you could input modern day wrestlers as well and have that as part of the storyline. But the storyline of Here Comes the Pain was great, and it was something that you could sit back and play and just let these stories play out for such a long time.
Yeah, actually, I could probably go back now. Such a shame, obviously, that, it shows our age and shows, how long we've been fans for. But such a shame that these games are on the PS4 now. I'm operating on a PS4. I'm running on a PS4 for gaming. And, I'd love to go back and play these games. You know what I mean?
If there was to do something like that this year, then I think that is the most likely to what we'll get, to be perfectly honest.
Well, maybe we'll come back together and do a little reaction video tomorrow or a few days afterwards, because I do think it's important. I do think, as gamers or casual gamers as we are, I think it's worth doing. I think, like I say, I'm very excited to see what the AEW game comes out with, and whether 2K are inspired and motivated by what happens in that, and they kind of reevaluate their franchise, whether indeed it'll be 2K that runs the games, because obviously they could lose the rights to do that now.
I actually think that'd be a great idea.
Well, we'll see what happens, but I think in summary, I think I would want to look for, you said you would want to look for a remastered Here Comes the Pain. I think there's a very realistic aim and a goal. I think that they should employ this YouTuber that you mentioned to work with them as well, because obviously some incredible work there.
Give him some money. Come
absolutely.
along and work on the game with us.
Absolutely, yeah. Finishing up, what do you guys want? What do you guys want to see? Do you want to see a general manager mode? Do you like the 2K games? You're like me, a casual gamer that that doesn't really matter about the odd glitch because you just enjoy playing as your favorite wrestler and winning a match or a few matches. What do you want to see from this announcement on Monday, and what do you want to see in general? Obviously, we would like people to be watching this video in the future. What do you want to see in WWE games? What do you want? Do you want a War Games? Do you want War Games mode? Do you want a better create a wrestler mode? Would you like a more sophisticated Legends showcase? What kind of things would you like to see in WWE games going forward?
Do you know what I'd really like to see? Just a game that works. A game that plays, right? And I don't have to get frustrated with glitches, and I don't have to get frustrated with, and that's fun. Something that's fun, Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I say, let's see what happens on Monday. Hopefully, you guys are okay. Like I say, take care. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Do subscribe. What the heck? Why are you putting a face?
Because I might have accidentally just put you to titles. You're back now. Don't worry.
Okay, fine. But I thought you were cutting me off for some kind of
I might have
being like cheesy or something. I'm saying you got to take care of yourselves and each other. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. And don't forget to keep it gay. You can support the channel on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, /Gimme a Hole. Yeah, you can drop us a few quid, pennies, dollars, whatever on Patreon if you like. And keep in touch with us on our videos. Let us know if there's anything you want to see us cover. Whether you want to see Anthony do more 2K20 videos or something like that. He probably says please no to that.
I'm not doing no. You don't even. You wouldn't even pay me to do that, dude. I'm not a dance monkey dance. No.
You probably couldn't. You probably couldn't be paid to do it. You probably wouldn't do it.
Dude, I wouldn't be interested in playing that awful game.
Right. Well, let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, listening, supporting the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video. And keep it gay.
Very good. Well done. Give me a hug, yeah.